Hi guys, welcome to my channel. It's been a while since I've posted anything. My TD's been away at college and he's got a job, so it's been hard for us to get together. Say hi, Emma.
Hi.
We thought we would do a 2-year review on the Record Power Envoy lathe that I bought. I don't know whether you will be interested in it, but I really like the lathe. It's been everything I've expected from Record Power, and I just thought I would go over some of the things that have gone wrong with it and some of the features that I really like about it. The only problem I've had with the lathe, and it was about, I think, probably about 9 months in, was a micro switch in the door right here that if I got any vibration in the lathe at all, it would turn the lathe off. But that problem was solved with some help from Ethan at Stockroom Supply and Richard from Record Power. They had me back up and running within a couple of weeks, and haven't had any other problems with the lathe. The features I really like about the lathe is the headstock turning. As you can see, I got a piece of wood on here right now. So if I'm turning this bowl and got it hollowed out and want to flip it, all I have to do is turn this head slightly, move my banjo up, my tailstock is out of the way, and I can hollow that bowl out without any obstructions from any of the other things. Another feature that I like, now I don't know whether anybody does this or not, but I have the outrigger, so if I'm turning a bigger bowl, I made up this kind of like a steady rest that goes on my outrigger. I can bring that right up to the edge of my bowl, tighten it down, and it gives me some support on the bowl as I'm hollowing it out, especially on longer hollow forms. So that's another feature that I really like. This is something, I don't know whether this is something that anybody else uses it for, but that's what I use it for. Yeah, so I just made this bracket up. I actually had this bracket on my other lathe to hollow out hollow forms, and I rigged up this wheel so that I can bring it up. I can adjust this up and down to a certain extent and bring it in and just use it as a steady rest against my bowl as I'm turning it. As you can see, this clamps down tighter and it'll give you some support on the edge of that bowl. I eventually want to make up one with 2 wheels on it, so it'll actually be like a professional steady rest, but this works ideal for putting the pressure against the larger bowl, and it takes gives it that little bit of stability, that's all. Very simple to make. Yeah, and another use for the outrigger. The lathe, I do some coring with a Kelton coring system, which is this system here. The lathe seems to have enough power to do bowls up to 16 inches, as long as the wood isn't really dry and really hard. It has no problems hollowing out a bowl. Another thing that I use the lathe for is turning large platters. And as you know, in my other video I showed you that the capacity of this lathe is 39 inches. The biggest thing I've turned on this lathe is 26 inches. But you can actually turn something 39 inches if you had to. I've turned 3-inch solid black walnut platter that was 21.5 inches. The lathe handled it no problem. There's no vibration in the lathe. It's an excellent lathe for the money. This lathe cost me $2,600, and then I had to buy a chuck and the other items that you want to go along with your lathe, but those would be extra no matter what lathe you have. So for the amount of money that I spent on the lathe, for the size of it, the amount of money I've spent on it, I think it performs as well as some of the larger lathes. and it was in my price range. So anybody that's looking to spend $3,000 for a lathe or around that amount of money and they want a good quality lathe, I would recommend this lathe. This lathe has done everything I've wanted it to do for me, and I must say I put a lot of hours on this lathe. I use this lathe probably 5 hours a day, 4 days a week for sure, and it's done well. The only one complaint I have about this lathe, and it's not the lathe itself, it's the tool rest. The tool rest, I don't know whether Emma can zoom in on this tool rest, but I've ground this tool rest several times, and if you're using especially parting tools, you can probably see the marks it leaves in the tool rest. Now, they sand out very easily or file out very easily, but they have to be filed out to get that nice smooth run across the top of the lathe, or top of the tool rest. And that is the only complaint I have. If this had a hardened steel edge on it, or if it was made out of harder steel, it would be great. But that is the only complaint. Other than that, the lathe is everything I wanted it to be. And I'm going to put a link below to where you can purchase the lathe. I believe that Record Power has a promotion on right now on their lathes, and of course Ethan at Stockroom Supply would have all the answers, and yeah, great people to work with. Like I say, when I had a problem with the lathe, they were right on top of it. They had me up and running in no time, no questions asked. It was great. So yeah, that's about it for the lathe. Like I say, it's a great lathe. Okay, thanks.